Hello.
Hi, my name's Addie. I'm going to be your nurse today.
Hello.
Can I get your name?
Yesenia.
Yesenia? Okay. And Yesenia, can you remind me what you're in here for today?
I feel like I'm having a heart attack.
I feel like you're having a heart attack? Okay. Can you explain the feeling to me? Is it more like a,
It feels like an elephant is crushing my chest.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And then, how long has this been going on for?
About a month.
Okay, a month. And then, have you noticed anything that's gone on recently in your life, like a big change that has brought this on, or?
Well, I have a bunch of exams I'm going through. I got a lot of stuff going on at home.
Yeah.
It's just a lot going on, and it feels like the world's falling apart.
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it, and
I
it's just
understand. Okay, that must be very difficult for you. And then with this chest pain, do you feel like you have a difficult time breathing, or is it just more like that heaviness on your chest?
It feels like I can't breathe. It feels like if I breathe, it's gonna hurt worse, and I'm gonna end up dying one day, and I won't get through my exams, and I won't get through my stuff. So now I don't know what to do.
It sounds very difficult. Nursing school is hard. You're very brave for doing that. And then, can you tell me a little bit more about like your sleeping patterns? How have you been sleeping with all this stress going on?
I don't really sleep.
You don't sleep? Can you give me like an average a night?
Like 4 hours a night
4
on a good
hours.
night.
Okay, that makes sense. And then do you take any medication for your sleep at night?
I do not.
Okay. And then let's see. You said that you're going through nursing school. Obviously, that's difficult. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Is it more just like your exams that's stressing you out, or do you just have stuff like going on in life right now?
There's just a lot going on.
Just everything.
Wow.
Okay. And then
School, home, kids, work. It's too much.
Yeah, I get that. And then with that, do you find anything to relieve your stress? Do you have any good coping mechanisms or hobbies that you feel
I
like?
don't have time to do anything except school and work and kids.
Okay, I understand that could be very difficult. One thing I do think is that would be a great thing for you to do. I know obviously you're stressed out, you have tons of time that you're working on homework, but I think that just trying to carve away like 5 minutes at a time, going for a walk, listening to music.
Well, 5 minutes is 5 minutes less of doing homework, so
Yeah,
can't do that.
That is difficult. And then along with this, do you feel like your mental health has been doing okay? Do you feel that you are coping with things well? Or do you feel like this is kind of detrimental for you?
No, but I think it's fine as long as I get my assignments in on time.
Okay. And then have you been getting sick recently or anything like that? Or are you doing okay with that?
Yeah, I really can't hear out of one of my ears, and I've been coughing a lot over the last week. And
Okay, so kind of your immune system's having a hard time recuperating.
yeah,
Especially with your lack of sleep, I could see how that would really affect that.
yeah, but I'll be fine.
Yeah, okay. Well, have you ever thought about maybe, have you done therapy before or anything like that?
No, I don't
Talking
like therapy.
to people? Not really your thing? I understand that. And then, have you ever talked to your doctor about this, or is this the first time you've ever come in?
No, he knows about it. I just don't talk to him anymore.
Okay, I get that. And then, have you ever had this experience happen before, or is this kind of the first time that you've ever noticed this anxiety?
No, it happens all the time. I just kind of ignore it until it gets to the point where I can't breathe, and then I have to come in and figure out what's going on. Okay,
so like on a scale from 1 to 10, how would you rate this experience compared to your other ones?
Probably a 8.
Okay, an 8, I get that. And then, have you ever discussed medications with your doctor, something to kind of alleviate the stress or help you?
Yeah, but I don't like medicine, so
Medicine, yeah.
that's kind of out of the question for me.
Okay, and then is there a specific reason why you don't like doing medications? Is it more just like the insurance side of it, or
It's just
makes
more,
you
it
feel
makes me
gross?
feel like a zombie, and there's nothing I can do, and
Okay,
I don't want to deal with it.
okay, that makes sense. And does your family have a history of this anxiety, or is this mainly just something that you've had to deal with alone?
No, we all have it. We just kind of ignore it and go about our lives and act like it doesn't exist.
Okay, so I understand how that could be difficult. One thing I do know though is when you do deal with this for such a long time, it can start to have a really big effect on your health, like you mentioned, kind of the coughing and how you can't hear out of an ear. So I do think that this is something that we should look more into if you are interested. I do want to help you. I know that nursing school is difficult, and obviously if you had to keep dealing with this for the amount of time that you're in school, it will have an effect on your body. Is this something that you would be interested in talking more about?
Not really.
Okay.
I just wanna make sure I'm not having a heart attack so I can go back to doing my homework.
Okay, I understand that. Well, we'll go ahead and do some extra tests and run it, and then we will get back to you. Is that okay? Okay.